You.
Okay. Hi, how you doing?
Good.
Okay. All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to start in a second, waiting for YouTube to confirm that I'm connecting. All right. Perfect. All right. Good morning, everybody. Super.
Mhm.
We have a beautiful day today. Gosh, I'm excited about the day today. Yeah, hold on a second. Okay, we are gonna this morning, like Saturday, like every Saturday, we always talk about different things, but usually we go a little deep in the pay plan and other things because Saturday I love to have it open after the call, after the regular training, for any questions that you have. And now today we are going to be talking, diving into the pay plan. The presentation that you're going to see is some of you have seen it. There are a little difference because this is a presentation that was set up also for the Ignite presentation last week here in Utah. Anyway, and that way I can share it with you. Okay, let me present it. Right, let's share my screen. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, I'm going to start with a disclaimer. Now, many, actually, let me start first with the slide before for those you that don't know me yet very well. I've been for 30 years in the industry. My teams have sold over $1 billion, and this is incredible. I had to check the numbers again because, of course, I've been since 1992, but it's interesting that in the company that I was before, we were selling around $100 million a year. That's over $1 billion because I was over 15 years there, plus all the volume that we have since and the volume that I had before. I've been before I did and still but before I was in several magazines like Success Magazine, in shows on and in a cable channel that's called Business Leaders. One day I'm gonna play it, and of course I have probably my hair was darker and that I have a little more hair when I did that one in 2011. Uh, 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 but anyway, and I love the network marketing industry. I love also technology because my background has been when I went to college, I went to business and also computer systems. It's why I love technology. And the reason I love technology is because I feel the technology is here just to make things simpler. I know sometimes we are scared of technology. I remember when I was in college, one of the things is that there were other people that didn't like that, the people that were going to computers, to anything that had to do with system, because they say, oh, you are going to replace the whole workforce in the next 10 years. Nobody's going to have a job because computers are going to take over. And we are talking in the late 70s. And it's interesting because instead that happening, more industries were created. And it's interesting because I say as a parallel with AI today, there's a big difference also between an AI and when we were in the computer revolution. That was the time with giants like today Microsoft and Apple and many companies started appearing. But the difference is that today AI is making things grow so fast that the amount of jobs that have been replaced or they are they are not growing new jobs fast enough to replace those, to create new jobs. And the reason is because AI is moving so fast. And that's one of the challenges that we have right now. I think eventually everything is going to normalize, but not right now because robotics and AI are moving together so fast. AI and robotics are coming together. And because my son worked with Tesla, he tell me all the things that are happening in robotics, not in robotics alone, but in so many things. And of course, it's incredibly excited, but at the same time, it's scary for people that because people are not ready for those changes so quick. It's why one of the things that we had to make sure, one of the things that I like our business is because our business is a business that uh, we never gonna go out of business. Why? Because AI. AI is what the left brain basically does in our body, in ourselves. The left brain is the analytic, the one that does the computation, etc. The right brain is the emotional brain, and that cannot be replaced by AI. Sometimes when you are talking to ChatGPT, for example, you think that AI has some kind of emotion, but doesn't. It's not. It's not really emotion. It's why they need the human side. And that's why for this business it's tremendous because this network marketing always been based in personal contact, in sharing stories. And these are things that AI cannot do. And that's why it's an amazing business. And I see AI making this business stronger. The same that the growth of the internet, the social media, etc., is like a perfect storm. And that's why I love to talk about the pay plan. Of course, then we had the product side that definitely is the base of the business because if we didn't have a product that was so good, we would not have a future. And that's why the fact that we have a product like that so powerful that is on the PDR, and the reason it's so important is because people are getting even more and more sophisticated, and they because they are more sophisticated, the importance of being in the PDR is going to be especially more powerful in the future, and that's something to keep in mind. Now, a PDR is the physician desk reference. Um, okay, okay, yeah. Anyway, sorry, I was looking at the questions. Okay, now let me start here presentation. I'm gonna start here with this, the money disclaimer. Why they have a money disclaimer? First of all, uh, I had to make sure that people understand that we are going to talk about numbers, and numbers are cool, but at the same time, people think, okay, that means that I just sign up and I'm going to be a millionaire. No, these are not typical. I am going to talk about examples. The potential is enormous, but results depend on ourselves and the skills that we want to develop and the actions that we have. And this is very important that you keep this in mind. And like in any business, just because a business is proven, that doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in that. Because if you don't follow certain things, uh, uh, of course, you're not going to be successful. It's interesting because so far, every time somebody come to me and they say, George, the business is not working, and I say, okay, can you show me your activity form? And they don't have it, or they don't have anybody there, or they tell me, I talk to everybody. Really? Do you have the record? How many people you talk to? And usually it's very few, or they talk too much. When they talk too much, of course, they scare people out of the business right away before we started. But anyway, now the pay plan, I have this form, and you have seen it already. This is a one-page form that I love because it gives you a general idea how the pay plan works. I created a dissimilar form years ago with the company I was before, and then I updated for 3 years, a month and a half ago or something like that, because it's a good guide to have when you are talking about the product, the business, excuse me. Especially, it's a great guide for yourself, although it's a great one when you are talking to somebody. Now, the first part of the reward plan is the retail program. Now, the retail program is ideal for influencers, people that are direct sellers, service offices, health professionals, etc. The cool thing about this program is that when a person sells through the link, you get paid 25% the following day, as long as it's Monday to Friday, and of course the banks are open. And as you see, if the orders are done before 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, MST, Mountain Standard Time. And this is really cool the way that you get paid next day, and you can make a lot of money. We have a woman in St. George. She's 19 years old, and she just turned 20. She's working this business part time because she go to school, and she works part time in a dental office. And to the dental office, she's been retailing the program, and in 7 weeks, I think what they say in 7 weeks in the meeting that we have here in Salt Lake. In 7 weeks, she earned almost $5,000. Earn, not sell, in retail, and it's incredible. And she's, like I said, it's only 20. She's very sharp. When I met her, I knew she was gonna be good. She's not doing the business itself, building leaders or anything like that, because she said, I'm so busy because I work part time and I go to school, etc. And but she loved these products and she knew that they could work. She talked to the dentist that she worked with, and they agreed that yes, she could sell the products through her office, of course, with the help of the dentist. And she's, like I said, she had make in 7 weeks almost $5,000, and being a part-time, totally part-time in this business. I'm going to see if I can get her picture and some short interview, although she's kind of shy to have an interview because we wanted to do that before in another Zoom. Okay, the PIB product introduction bonus. We have different packages or products with, and this is paid only when you sign up new brand ambassador. This one is when you sell retail. Every time you sell retail, puff, you get this. Now, the next one, the PAB, is when you sign somebody up that want to do what you are doing, then you get a PAB, product introduction bonus. It's a fast start bonus. It's paid every week. And you get paid from $25 all the way up. And $25 when you have an order of at least 100 points. And by the way, we have packages that have that have a bonus with that's $25, but you can have a combination of products. And the reason I say up is because you can have more than one package together, or tons of products, and it could be as high as, I think it's $800 the most I got in a PIB, a fast start bonus, and with one person. And this is really cool because it's the first commission that you receive, or the sales too. The sales could be the other first commission. These are the fast commissions, these two. Now, you don't have to have anybody under you or anything like that to get paid any of these two, this one or this one. Let's go to the next one. And then I stop. Actually, let me stop here for a second because I want to make sure that this is clear. Okay. Everybody has a question about the retail sales or the PIB? Okay, let me check the chat. Okay, all right, perfect. Yeah, yeah, the product introduction bonus, yeah, it's a fast start bonus. By the way, this is interesting because, in my opinion, all our commissions are fast because they are paid in 1 week. The cool thing here is that the week ended on Monday at midnight Mountain Standard Time, and you get paid Friday. It's really quicker than a week. You think about it. Because Friday you receive an email that you are getting paid. Usually the email depend on the time. I think Mountain Standard Time probably around 1 o'clock. Usually I receive the email saying that I got paid. That's so cool. All right, let me go back to share. Any questions? I want to make sure that this part is clear. All right, perfect. All right, let's go to the next part. Okay, let me share again. All right, the cycles. This is one cool thing. When I discovered this, whoop, my light went off, although it's okay. I think you can see me still. Uh, well, one of the cool things about this, I discovered the cycles years ago when I was in my company before. I didn't know what a cycle was. I was like sort of you that have been in network marketing before. I was in a traditional network marketing company that pay you first level and second level, etc. But when the cycles came up, at first I didn't get that we're talking about. The person that sponsored me, that at the time, by the way, was 75 years old, and he was coming from a bankruptcy. He was already making like 10 or 20,000 a month. I don't remember right now, something like that. But he was telling me, the secret of this business is to become a professional cycler. And in my head, I was thinking, I don't know what he means. For me, cycling is cycling, bicycling. And he said, this is the genius way to get paid. And I said, why you say that? Because you get paid unlimited levels. In other words, there are no levels. The computer just look for volume. And that's something that got my attention because most of your volumes in the business are always going to go below your first level, obviously, and the second level. And the more your business mature, hold on a second, the most your business mature, the more, hold on a second, I'm trying to get my other, no, it, when the light went off, it got disconnected. Huh, and the other, and then my other visual. Okay, all right. Okay, hold on a second. I want to make sure that it's not going to be any feedback. Okay, correct. Perfect. All right. All right. Okay. Now, cycles is very simple. What it means cycle is when you get 600 points in one side or 300 on the other one, or the opposite, 3 on 600, that's what is called a cycle. And each time a cycle happens, you get paid $35. It's about around 4%. But it's every time you have 300 or 600, 600 and 300. And this is the cool thing. Whatever volume comes about that, stay there. For example, you have 400 on your left and 600 on the right, you get paid 300 on the left, 600 on the right, and there are 100 left. You, as long as you are active means you are buying every month at least 60 points. That's about 110, $120 in products. You always keep accumulating volume. You never lose volume. It's not like the traditional network marketing that at the end of the 30 days you start from zero. Here, you never lose the volume. The other thing that was cool when I discovered cycles, and that even if you have somebody that came under you that become a superstar, and it's the only person that you sponsor, that person can, you never gonna lose that person, like happened in other pay plans. Stay under you, and eventually when you start building your teams, etc., you start getting commissions on that person. This is the beautiful thing, that you are not punished here, like something I did understand when I got in my first pay plan, before I discovered cycles. Uh, One of the reasons I was in a company, I was trying to become a rank that was called executive, and I noticed that my upline was not interested because he was not an executive. And as soon as I became an executive, he was going to lose me. I didn't know that. And I thought that was not really fair. But that was the way that many of the older plans are. And that's why here, when I was told that, first of all, I never lose my volume that I have not qualified yet. And I never lose anybody. And I get paid unlimited levels. And the qualifications are simpler. And in this case, are way simpler than in any other binary. I said, wow, I am in. Now, what do I mean more than any other binary? Here, as long as you have one person on your left that you personally sponsor, doesn't matter if the person came after somebody that came under you, and we are going to talk about that in a second, but you have one person sponsor on the left and one person sponsor on your right, that they're active, and again, active is at least 60 points every 4 weeks. Now you can get paid unlimited levels. That means that you can have tons of people coming into your organization, and you can get paid in all of them. They're coming left and right, left and right. You can have up to 600 cycles. This is amazing. That's about 21,000 a week. And the only qualification is that you have to be active, and you have somebody active on the left that you personally sponsor, somebody active on the right that you personally sponsor. Now, when you have 10 or more on personal sponsor that are active, guess what? You get paid up to 600 cycles. If you don't have the 10, you get paid up to 500 cycles. That's still, it's incredible money because it's more than $17,000 a week. But when you have 10, then it's 21,000. And this is a powerful part of the plan. And we get paid every week. This is, by the way, 10 cycles mean, no. 10 cycles, well, kind of. 10 cycles is when you have, remember, it's 300 and 600. Is, let's suppose, 10, multiply that by 10. It's 3,000, 6,000. When you have 3,000 points on the left and 6,000 points on the right, you are having 10 cycles. Now, that can happen in one week, it can happen one day, it can happen a whole month. But yeah, yes, it's when you have 3,000, 10,000. That's what 10 cycles are, because one cycle is 300, 600. 10 cycles would be multiplied by 10. That's what it would be. It's points, no people. Correct. Yeah, you can have only two people, but if those two people are bringing people or volume, let's suppose it's this like this woman in Salt Lake, excuse me, in St. George. Let's suppose that she just have two people, one on the left and one on the right, but they move. One of them move 3,000 points and the other one 6,000 points, even that there are only two. They're moving because they are in a medical office or they do a lot of direct sales. Just with those two people, they are cycling 10 times. That because it's based on volume only, not on people. And I love that. The 10 people is to qualify up to 600 cycles. If you don't have the 10 people that are active, the max that you can do is 500 cycles a week. That again is still it's incredible money because it's over $17,000 a week. Think about that. Those are incomes that only high executives made, or plastics, not yeah, plastic surgeons or brain surgeons that they went to school for 8, 10 years, etc. Here, the cool thing is that you can do it yourself. You can make the money, more money than a medical doctor, and in residual. That's so cool. But again, and the reason I'm spending a little time here because this is powerful, and we get paid every week. And this part of the plan is when I was in the company before, when I discovered the cycles, I made several $1 million because I have two teams that were going bananas. And when I say two teams, a left team and a right team. The cool thing that you don't need as many people that are leaders, because as soon as you have a top leader on your left and a top leader on the right, it's like having two trains going downhill. There's no way to stop them. It's like a roller coaster. When the roller coasters are going down, wow, they cannot stop it anymore. And doesn't matter what you do. Now, it takes time. It's not going to happen right away. Now, there are some people that have been fortunate that they can do it much quicker than other ones, or it's people that have tremendous connections and they come right away with a group of people that exploded. But this is a pay plan on consistency and simplicity. And again, the potential is incredible. Now, on this part of the plan, you can earn up to $21,000 per week. However, that's not a limitation. Now, you can make way more money than that. Let me go to the next step. And by the way, here is an example. Look at the possibilities. One of the things that I like about this example, the 1 to 12 are the months. The middle is the brand ambassador that you enroll. Let's suppose that you enroll two ambassadors that are going to do, not that you to enroll two and that's it. You go back to bed and wake up in 12 months and you're making tons of money. I'm talking about two people that are building. Now, to find those two people, maybe you have to go through 100 people to find those two top leaders. But then now from those two, let's suppose that they do the same thing and they found two. It's four in the second month. And look at the volume, the way that's growing on the right side. At the end of 12 months, you have 4,096 new people coming in. That's over 400,000 volume. When you add all that, by the way, it's over 800,000 points on volume. Imagine the commissions. Imagine the amount of money that you could make. Even if half of that happened or a quarter of that happened, it's an incredible residual income. Imagine the possibilities and the qualifications that you need. Make sure that you have one active on the left, one on the right. But think about this. There are over 8,000 people here and you brought only two. And the company where I discovered the binary, I have almost 1 million people in my organization. Can you imagine? Almost 1 million people. Probably I have over 1 million because I, at one point, because when somebody didn't order for more than a year, they were taken out of the computer. And it didn't renew, they were taken out of the computer. It's why I'm sure if they never taken anybody out of the computer, it would be way over 1 million people. But I didn't sponsor 1 million people. I sponsored about, I don't remember, between 150 and 180 people. But imagine, but I have 1,000 times more than that in my organization at one point, or people that came in my organization. This is the power of this pay plan. And because there are no levels, doesn't matter how deep the person goes, remember the volume is going to count. Of course, it's up to 21,000 a week in income, but that's incredible. Now, we go to the next part. Let me talk first about the rewards before I go to the next one. One of the cool things that when you go into SmartShip, and later we are going to talk about SmartShip. SmartShip is when you have 60 points or more coming every 4 weeks. And the reason it's so important, well, I'm not going to mention right now, but I'm going to go into that, but it's very important to be in a SmartShip. Every 6 months, you get an $100 certificate that you can use to buy products. Now, customers, and these are people that didn't sign up, it's the people that when they buy something, you make 25% the next day. Every time they spend around $300, they get $33 certificate that they can use for future products. And by the way, it's interesting that customers, when they refer people, they get $10 more certificate every time they refer a customer. Now, this is a cool thing, by the way, that most people don't talk about. When a customer refer a customer, yeah, they get $10 reward, but how much commission do you think you get? Guess what? 25%, even if you didn't bring that customer, but your customer was the one that referral. The same that if their referral bring another customer, you get 25%. Pay next day because the customers are yours. Customers cannot get paid. They can get rewards bonus like you do in traditional business when you're buying the stuff and they say, we are going to give you a certificate for every referral that you can use for the next purchase or a discount or every business use something different. But here is so cool. And these are loyal rewards. We have other programs that always come up, but this is really cool to understand that when a customer refer a customer and they buy, you're getting 25% still. That's so cool. Now, this is the part that got me when we got in three. When I got in three, like I said, when you get a cycle, you have 300 on one side, 300 on the other side, you make money. Now, this is interesting. Let's suppose that Bob, that you brought on the left side, and Sue on the right side, they cycle. Every time they cycle, you get up to 30% matching bonus on them. That means up to $10.50. Every time that somebody that you bring personally and they cycle, ka-ching, and there's no a limit of how many people. You can have 100 people that you brought in, and every time that they cycle, ka-ching, and you can make up to $300,000 a year per person. And later I'm going to show the calculator. But this is amazing. This is so powerful. And here it is. Up to 30%. Now, the 30% you get it. And by the way, every person that you sponsor is an L1. We call it, it's level 1, but L1. L1 is every person that you sponsor is an L1. Every person that they sponsor is a L2 or level 2. Every person that the level 2 sponsor is a level 3, all the way down, as you see up to 7 levels, 5%. This is the really powerful the powerful part of the Payplan because there are no limit how much money you can earn. Here, there's no limit of 21,000 a week. Could be way more than that. And this part of the plan is the one that is going to pay the most in the long term. Remember, you start with the retail sales, sell something, you get paid next day. Cool. Then you have the PAB, cool, and you're getting money. Now the cycles you can get up to 21,000. It's cool, and that's the third part time that you start making money. But when your team or your people start cycling, you start getting paid too. But because this one doesn't have limits, the potential is literally unlimited. And let me get out this part because I want to make sure anybody has any questions about this, because this is, like I said, super cool, important, super excited, actually. Because
George,
again,
oh,
yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I have a question. I think I know the answer, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let's say that, okay, so when you're doing the 600 on one side and the 300 on the other, the company is always going to pull the 600 from your biggest side. Is that correct?
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure.
Correct. Yeah, always the 600 come from the bigger side and 300, and that's where accumulate the volume too. You accumulate the 600, and one of the things I like is when eventually, when you have, because eventually it's going to happen. Sometimes happen right away, sometimes take a while, but eventually one of those legs are going to take off. And when one of those legs take off, suddenly you have to build only one more. And I love that. But yeah, the 600 points are going to come from the bigger leg, always. And that's also an advantage, no, because then that doesn't mean that every time you put something on the small leg, no, in the bigger leg, always is going to come the
And
plan.
George, we don't have to worry about our legs flipping, do we?
No, on the contrary, when they're flipping, you make more money because that means that they are going like competing against each other. And they can go back and forth, but that doesn't affect the business at all. The good part again is when legs are going back and forth. That means that they are growing. Not at the beginning. I'm talking when you already have an organization. That's really cool. As a matter of fact, let's suppose that you have a leg that's a right side, and that's the one that is putting the more volume. But then suddenly some monster come on the left side and then flip the leg. That's great because you start getting all the volumes from the right side so quick that your checks go crazy. And that's why it's so cool when they switch after you have a lot of volume in one leg. I love that. I used to in the company I was before. I think for the first 3 years, I flipped back and forth. Sometimes I was thinking that one leg was the most powerful, and suddenly they flip and then flip again, and that was a big. And that's why I got to 20,000 a week in around 3 years, and that's over $1 million a year. And the reason is because they keep flipping until one of them grew so fast that there was no way to reach it anymore. And that was okay because I was focusing only on one leg. And I maxed out the plan. Max out is like here, making 21,000 a week. Here is when somebody said, I max out the plan, that means that you're making 21,000 a week on the binary. On the machine bonus, there is no limit. There's no max out. But that is really cool. Here, I'm going to have an example on the machine. Did I answer your question?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, perfect. Now, this part is really cool. This is part of the machine bonus. And the reason I like it is because, again, every time somebody in my team is making money, I make money. Now, let's suppose that I have 5 people and they are making, in average, some of them $1,000 a week, some of them 5,000, some of them 300 a week, but average, like, I don't know, 5,000. Let's put 2,000 a week. Yeah, a low number, a small number. That's 10,000 that they're earning. This is the people that I personally sponsor. They are earning 10,000 a week. Then what happened? The company paid me up to 30% on that if I have my 10, and I for sure will have my 10 if you have 5 people making money. That's $3,000 extra per week. That's 150,000 a year that you're getting for your people. Now, people that are making 2,000 a week, they have people that are making money. Let's suppose that each one has three. 3 times 5 is 15. Let's suppose they're making, I don't know, 1,500. That's another 3,000 a week because the L2, they are the people that the L1 are bringing, you're making another $3,000. And then let's suppose that people are making 1,500, they have people making money. Let's suppose that they are, I don't know, 4 each one, that would be 60. And let's suppose that is $1,000 a week, just to throw a number. It's about $12,000. That means that just because in the first 3 levels, you're making over 12,000 a week, and this is if you multiply by 52, it's about 600,000 a year. Just matching bonus on the people that you brought that are making money and the one that they are bringing and the one they are bringing. And I'm not going to even go in the lower levels. But as you see, this is really powerful, and I didn't have it in the company where I earn millions of dollars. I have in my team over 40 people that earn over $1 million. And 2 of them were personal sponsored. 3 of them were personal sponsored. What happened if I have one person that you sponsor, the other leg is not doing too good, but you happen to sponsor one person that earn $1 million, and I'm going to put here the $1 million like a yearly, but remember it's paying 3 a year. That's $1 million. Okay. Just in one person that's making $1 million, you find just one leader. The other leg is not doing too well, but you found a Christine Peterson. Poof, your business exploded in just one person. 300,000 a year. Divided that by weeks, but this is the power. Now, person is making, like Christine, you find a Christine that is making $1 million, probably has several people that are making also $1 million a year. But let's suppose that she sponsors five. Remember, we are looking for board of directors. Actually, a person that's making $1 million a year is very good chance to have more than 10 in the board of directors. The board of directors, people that you sponsor that are building the business. Let's suppose that you have 10 and they are making, I don't know, 600,000 each one a year. And by the way, somebody in your team can make more money than you. This is really cool. But anyway, gosh, that's another 900,000. It's 15% of that. Already you're over a million. Of course, I'm talking about huge numbers here, and this is just for example, and to play too, because I love to play with numbers. But a person that's making 600,000 a year, they have a bunch of people. Well, let's suppose they have five, each one, that's 50 people. And let's suppose that what they're earning is half of that. But again, like I said, you can make more money than your upline. But anyway, look at that, $2.7 million a year just in three levels. That's the power of, oh, hold on a second. I'm not sharing.
George,
I'm not sharing. I just
yeah,
noticed.
we can't see.
Oh, yeah, because I go back and forth. Okay, let me, here it is. Okay. Actually, I'm going to start from zero. Jeez, I hate when I do that. Okay, let's start again. You found Christine, and Christine is making $1 million a year. Look at that. She's not making $1 million a year yet, but she's on her way. Now, Christine has her 10 people on the board of directors. Each one, let's suppose that is, I don't know, 600,000, although she may have a few $1 million too. Now, those 10, they have five people that are making a lot of money. 5 times 10 is 50. And let's suppose that they are half of that. And let's suppose 300,000. And by the way, you can make more money than your upline. But look at these numbers. Huge. Now, I'm talking about the potential. I like to have fun on calculators. I create all this on Excel. But look at how cool. And this is with accounting the other levels, because you're going to have tons of people here also eventually. But I love to do this example just to play with the numbers, the possibilities. But let's go back to her, because we are not going to start like that. Let's suppose that you have 5 people and they're making each one the average of $1,000 a week. That's another $1,500 a week that you're getting. And here we are calculating a week. That's about 75,000 a year just for the matching. This is totally separate from the binary side. That's so cool. Any question on the matching bonus? Okay. Yeah, it's why when I see this matching bonus, and I say, gosh, in the other company I had 40 people at different levels, no, earning $1 million. 3 were personal, but at different levels that have earned over $1 million. I look at this pay plan, and I left somewhere because the most that I earned was about $1 million in a year. And of course, that's great money. I didn't complain. It's just when I discovered this matching bonus, I said, whoa, it would have been probably at least 5 times higher than that. Because the company, what it's doing here is super smart. Is that is rewarding you for people that comes in that are making money. In other words, when you make money first, and you have people to make money, because at first you cannot help somebody, you're not making money. First, you make money first through the retails and the PIBs. Those are the first commission. Then, when you start cycling, then you teach people to cycle, and guess what? You get matching bonus on that. This is super powerful. Person that earned $21,000, $21 million. Excuse me, $21,000 a week. Well, it's 30% of that. It's over $6,000 a week on one person. That's more than $300,000 a year on one person, because you found that leader. And I'm putting emphasis on this part of the pay plan because that's the long term. Now, I know it's big numbers, and many times we say, gee, I never made $300,000 in a year, and here I could make it with one person. Yeah, but depend, of course, of your approach to the business. And it's not like we are promising you that. We are showing you the potential, the things that could happen. in the business. It's why there are people that already passed the 50,000 in a week here in our company. Not as much just because the binary side, that because max is 21,000 a week. Where the other 29,000 coming from? The matching bonus. Think about that. And the other commissions too, but the matching bonus is the big daddy here in the long term. In the long term. And by the way, it's not that the binary is, I'm going to go back to the sharing, make sure I don't forget. Okay. All right. This is still very good. I mean, the binary is amazing. I love it. Because cash, 21,000 a week. Even if 10% of that, 2,000 a week, and that's over 100,000 a year. 10% of the potential. I love this part, definitely. Okay, let's go to the next one. 3% leadership bonus. When we become a 4-star, we start getting part on the 3% profit share. Profit share is powerful because it's based on the sales, not on the profits. The company take 3% of the, here's a profit share, but it's based on the sales. Company take 3% of the sales and they divide them on the people that qualify. Now, the company is still small. However, this profit sharing, in some cases, some people are earning already 6 figures per year just on the profit share, and that's when you start getting into the 5-star, 6-star, because you receive more shares. And I'm not going to go much in detail how to get shares, but it's very simple. When for every 1,000 points that your group is putting in, as soon as you become a 4-star, automatic you get shares. You get 2 shares. But for every 1,000 points that your group has in a week, you get 1 share. That means that you have 10,000 points, you get 10 shares. 100,000 points, you get 100 shares, etc. And the other thing, for every person that you personally sponsor that goes up in rank in that week, you get shares. Every time you go up in rank, you get shares too. Of course, the more shares you have, the more money you make. And at this level, the shares are paying probably like around, I think they're like $6 per share. It's why in the long term could be huge amount of money, especially when the companies start growing much bigger, because that means that your volume is bigger. But this is something that I don't even put too much attention on, because for me, just the fact that we are getting paid those matching bonus on the cycles, that's the 90% of the income. I love that part. Although this is extra money that you're not going to get upset. Now we have trips, and you already seen some of the trips that we have been on. And okay, I'll repeat the same thing. And we have many other promotions and incentives now, and that's one of the cool things, that there always are other promotions and incentives, and eventually some promotions could become part of the Payplan when the company mature, because I've seen that before. When the company mature, they start getting more into places, things that add to the Payplan. Now, Smartship, I had to go back into this, the Smartship. I say that a Smartship is so darn important, because a Smartship is what is going to create the residual income. In other words, doesn't matter where that you are on vacation, etc. People in your team are in Smartship. Every time they order, you get the volume and you get paid. This is why it's so important to get in Smartship. Let me go to the next one. Yeah, first of all, when you are in the Smartship, you automatic, of course, you receive every 4 weeks, every month, you are getting the products that you need. You don't want to run out of the products. And let me tell you, there are many reasons, but this is, and I'm going to go into the numbers in a second. When we heard before that a habit is created in 21 days. It is not true, really. A habit is created through 3 periods of 21 days. 21 days what creates the beginning of that habit. But really, you have to do it basically for 90 days before a habit becomes part of you. And that's why one of the reasons Smartship is important, because after a person is in a Smartship and they keep ordering, they don't stop ordering, because they still start feeling the results and they have the habit of using the products. The other thing is that because one of the qualifications in order to keep your volume is that you have volume. And this helps you to make sure that you're active and you are not going to lose your volume because you forgot to order. This is why it's so darn important. Now, this is something really interesting that are the retention in a smart ship compared with manual ordering. A manual ordering is saying something like, you know what, I'm going to remember an order in 4 weeks. I tell you one thing, and for those of you that have at the beginning were not in a smart ship, I would not be surprised that one of you or more of you forgot one time. And then the volume was erased to zero. Smartship, not only you remember, but the retention rate goes as high as 90% of the people that start in Smartship. Meanwhile, and these are numbers, people that are not in Smartship, the retention is the most, is 40%, and that's the most. In other words, 4 and 10, the most, compared with 9 and 10. Think about that. It could be as small as 1 in 10. And this is something that I've seen since I started in this business. The majority of people that do not go into smart ship, they forgot to order. And because they don't have the habit, it's very easy for them not to order ever again. And here at the bottom, you see the difference. What is the difference between having 70 to 90 orders or only 10 to 40 orders, reorders every month? That's why the smart ship is so darn important. I know some companies don't have it as part of the companies. The smart ship was invented, I think when I invented, the first company started using it was around 1992, and the volume went crazy. They went into momentum, and today it's a $4 billion company. But smart ship is so smart for you because you're getting the products all the time. For you because you're making sure that you are not losing your volume, and of course for you and for your team too, because that's the way to create a residual income. Yeah, a smart ship is the glue that keep your business together. It could be a month, for example, between Christmas and New Year's Eve. Those 2 weeks are the slowest of the year, Christmas and New Year's Eve. Guess what? Still, the smart ship is coming and you still get a check. This is when you have a team, obviously. If you don't have a team, you don't have it. This is the glue that keeps the volume together, your business together. This is very powerful and they benefit you and benefit your team. Smartship is the secret for residual income. When you hear about people that they can go on vacation for months or take a whole year sabbatical, they still have an income. Or people that got sick or people that had to get away for a while, they still get income. This is the power of the smart ship. It's why I wanted to leave it for last, because I know the importance of the smart ship. Anyway, okay. Anybody else have a question?
George, where can we find the recording? Is this on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, it's let me see if I can put it on the right side already. Okay, let's see. It's here. Yeah, I think I can put the address already. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I put the address on the right side, the YouTube address for this specific video. If you go there right now, it's live on YouTube. But then after about probably 5 minutes after we finish the call, it's going to be recorded and you can send it to your team or you can save it too. Okay, let me talk. Okay, anybody, any question? As you see, I'm super excited about this. I love numbers. The power of numbers. Okay, this is the right time to ask any question about numbers because I ended the call, first of all. Okay. Any comments?
I have a question, George.
Yeah, go ahead.
So understanding when to put somebody on the right and on the left in order to maximize the cycles, how do you know when to do that? Like, do you understand that?
Yeah, well, your back office tell you how much volume you have on your left and how much on your right.
So you should always have double the numbers in your strong
Yeah,
side.
and this is in theory, by the way, because even if they're equal, still the computer is going to get left and right, and whatever is left is going to go to the next one. It's why it's hard to have a cycle double. But the reason it was set up like that, one third, two thirds, that basically it is because historically, eventually, one leg is going to be more powerful than the other one, and it's very smart because there is leveraging more volume from your strong side. Now, the best way to know, for example, you can find out in your back office, there's a report where you can find out how much volume is coming the following week. And what you can do is to create a promotion or yourself sponsoring more people in the opposite leg. Because the secret here is very simple. If you have more volume on the right side, for example, you know that you have to build more people on your left side. This is for the cycle, and that's it. And that's the only strategy. Strategy.
Okay, thank you.
It's yeah, oh, you're welcome. It's very it's why it's very simple because in the plan that was before binary, we had to keep volumes in our teams. When we wanted to make sure that we have people qualify, because if we didn't have the person qualify at the end of the month, we didn't get the full commission, and we were losing commission, or we were downgraded in our rank, and things like that that don't happen here. None of those things. You never, after you reach a rank, you never lose your rank. This is very important. You don't have to requalify. And that's another advantage of this pay plan. It's why I love this, that is the simplicity compared with other plans is incredible. And again, you never lose the volume. And again, you don't have to worry about where to put the volume is because it's very simple. I mean, you see, oh, my left volume it has less volume. Okay, let's sponsor more people on that side. But remember, you also are getting the matching bonus. Even if you have your right leg, let's suppose that's the one that has the most volume, and you have a leader there, you're getting 30% matching on them, and 15% on their people that they are bringing, etc. In other words, you never are losing. That's the cool thing. On the contrary, eventually the matching bonus, you want a super leader because that matching bonus can become very powerful because you could be matching in hundreds or even thousands of people just because one person that become a super leader. And that is so cool. It's one of the nicest features on our pay plan. Anybody has another question or comment?
George, have you stopped recording?
Not yet, but I can stop right now because I know